everyone, I'm Luke Tipple and you're watching AT&T Uverse Buzz, where we take you behind the scenes of some of your favourite TV shows, as well as preview some of the great programming and features available through AT&T Uverse. Today we're celebrating Discovery Channel's Shark Week by going shark diving. And hungry sharks are literally swarming underneath my feet. Discovery Channel's Shark Week is August 1 through 7. All week, Discovery puts you face to face with some of nature's most fearsome predators. It's the longest running event in cable TV history, and you can catch all the action right here on AT&T Uverse on channel 120 or in HD on 1120. Even after Shark Week is over, you can catch all the highlights right here on AT&T Uverse with video on demand. Get ready, folks. Today is going to be full of shark diving and a once-in-a-lifetime look at life underneath the sea. And now, our shark adventure begins. I grew up in Australia and started learning about the ocean at age 5 when my dad strapped me to the front of his surf kayak to go spearfishing. Now I specialise in shark diving and take a crew with me around the world. As a marine biologist, I spend most of my days underwater studying sharks. Right now, I'm going to get you up to speed on this magnificent animal. Here's a brief history of sharks from my underwater office. Sharks began to evolve around 400 million years ago, but they bared little resemblance to the sharks we know today. Up until the 16th century, sharks were known as sea dogs, and even the earliest explorers recognised the fact that the shark was one of the fiercest predators on the planet. A shark's appetite can be satisfied with one big meal, because some of them can hold undigested food in their stomachs for over 3 months. Just ask Quint from Jaws. There is on average close to 100 reports of shark attacks a year, with around 5 fatalities. But out of more than 360 species, only a few have been involved in unprovoked attacks. The truth is, sharks really aren't that great a threat to humans, but humans pose a real danger to sharks. Fishermen kill an estimated 60 to 80 million sharks a year, and 75 shark species are in danger of becoming extinct. We're taking a break right now, but when we come back, we're going to show you the safety of shark diving. Don't go anywhere. AT&T Uverse will be right back. G'day, I'm Luke Tipple, and you're watching AT&T Uverse Buzz. Today we're showing you what it's like to dive with sharks in honour of Discovery Channel's Shark Week.
We're headed up here on a little spot on the Bahama Bank called Tiger Beach. It's a little sandy patch, it's about 20 feet of water, nice and calm area, and tigers seem to congregate in that area and travel through there a lot. Closest landmass to us is Grand Bahama Island.
It looks like we'll be roughly about 20 miles offshore.
We're in the middle of the sticks.
Tiger Beach isn't a real beach. It's the name of an area known only to experienced divers where we can often find sharks. Tiger sharks mostly, but also lemon sharks, reefies and others. But the Caribbean is a big sea, and to lure the sharks to the boat, we're going to have to do some serious chumming.
Bait tubes allows current to flow through and put out just a real good scent marker. We'll put one on starboard, one on port side, and keep Sharky interested, hopefully.
Of course, nothing living beneath the waves is going to turn down a free meal.
You just saw me underwater handling a tube which was filled with mysterious stuff. That's actually chum. Now it's time to understand exactly what that is. Joining me is Patrick Douglas, CEO of Shark Divers, and he's our chum point source man here on this shoot. Mate, tell me what it is that you're doing here.
We're chopping up the good stuff. A little bit of sashimi for Mr. Sharky. Basically, this is a little bit of snapper, a little grouper, a little yellowtail. If you can put it into smaller pieces, you know, and then get those pieces working with the current, then what they'll do is they'll just follow it like a bird would follow breadcrumbs right to where you want them to be.
Exactly. That way we've got a couple of sources of chum. We've got Patrick up top here, and then I take down a bucket full of it so that we can actually attract them right up close. Now, sometimes we want you to stop chumming, sometimes we want you to keep going.
Luke brings up a really good point here. It's you never want the sharks to go into a frenzy mode because then you lose control of the situation. What you really want to have is just sharks that are very, very interested in what's going on. So we work in tandem to make sure that the right balance is there, the animals are keyed in, working nicely, and everything go off according to plan.
This position is actually one of the most important ones on the boat.
Yeah, I like to think so, actually. You know, the safety divers, the crew, the guy that runs the boat, all of them really dance around me, the chum guy.
Plus he gets a really big knife.
Great big knife.
That's a knife. During Discovery's Shark Week, you'll see some of the most advanced techniques in underwater photography. Right now, we're going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how shark crews capture these magic moments.
As we're setting up a shot, maybe I'm focusing on you, I have to be aware of when these sharks are moving, because they will develop little patterns. And if I'm hoping to get a shark coming right in front of you and nice and low so I can get a nice shot looking up at you, I really have to watch these sharks as they're coming around, you know, because they don't take direction very well. You know?
They kind of do their own thing.
Yeah, exactly. I love to get close headshots where they come right up by the camera. They get very curious, and so as they're cruising past, they'll sometimes drift very close to the camera because they're literally eyeballing you as you're eyeballing them.
Bigger cameras are better because they're bigger carriers.
Nice little thing just to push them that bit away.
We have a lot of equipment down there, and we also carry a lot of experience down there. So there's both communications verbally, like you're telling us, and we're also hearing things from topside, and at the same time we're also doing body cues. And you almost always just determine what you're going to do based on the shark behavior.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's just been a very intuitive thing.
In a shoot like this, you've got so many different challenges working as a cameraman to keep your mind on what you see, you know, in the lens. You almost want to have eyes in the back of your head to watch the sharks.
There's an instinct you develop, an awareness of what's going on around you to understand where a predator may be coming from, because they don't come with their own theme music.
They don't give you any cues. You know, they just magically seem to appear there. There's no pressure wake, they're silent, and they're so graceful. We're relying on each other for our safety. I can't tell what's in back of me. You can. And the same thing goes with you. I can see if there's any sharks coming in to maybe take a test bite on you, and that's why, you know, you always see me little thumb cues like that. You know,
those are the important
you know,
ones.
you better look behind you, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a team, and you can't emphasize that word team enough, because we're around animals that are sometimes 1,000 pounds. These are big animals, and if they do an accidental bite or a test bite, it's devastating damage.
We have to go down again. We didn't quite get what we needed, and you know, in diving you always got one more dive to do. So
there's always one more dive, and there's always looking for the bigger shark. And lucky for us, we still live in a world where there still do have these magnificent predators, although we all know their numbers are dwindling.
Alright guys, our safety list is complete, and when we come back, the dive continues. AT&T Uverse Buzz will be right back. You're watching AT&T Uverse Buzz. I'm Luke Tipple, and today we're celebrating Discovery Channel's Shark Week. And now, our shark dive continues. That is a really strong current. Now what has happened is that the tide is actually changing and the ocean is moving at about 1.5 or 2 knots or 2 miles an hour, as we say. What that means is it's very, very difficult to swim against it with all of our equipment, especially when we have to deliver a payload. This is a chum tube. It's filled with fish. You've seen it before, and I need to take some more down for the sharks. To enable me to do this, I need some help, and for this, I'm going to use an underwater scooter. This is a pretty high-tech piece of equipment. It's also really heavy. This will allow me to do about 3 miles an hour underwater, and helps me deliver heavy payloads. The added bonus is that it casts off a really strong magnetic field which sharks are attracted to. So the great thing is, we're definitely going to see some sharks. It feels pretty amazing zipping through the water on an underwater scooter. If I don't stay streamlined, I could get my mask torn off just from the force of the water. On land, 3 miles an hour may not be much, but underwater, I feel like Iron Man flying through the sky. What we are seeing now are Caribbean reef sharks. They were attracted here by the magnetic field given off by my scooter. There are so many species of shark. In fact, there's over 440 species, and I know that there's more out there waiting to be discovered. Sharks can lose 30,000 or more teeth in their whole lifetime. Sharks are carnivorous, which means the major bulk of their diet is made up of other animals.
You're not going to believe this, but there's a red velvet couch down here on the ocean floor. It looks like a good spot to watch sharks, so I'm going to start chumming. Sharks will be able to smell this chum from miles away. They have an incredible sense of smell. They also are very visual predators, so they're probably watching me from quite a long way away. This, plus all the dead fish and chum in the water, helps the sharks to hunt their prey, and hopefully they'll come over to me, because I'll be waiting for them on the couch. And now that we're all chummed up, all we have to do is sit and wait for the sharks to show up. The waiting game has begun. It might get dangerous. Let's see if they're hungry. Today I've got a goal, to have a shark eat right out of my hand. To do this with no cage and no armour, you've got to have a lot of experience. These guys pack a serious bite. Yeah, Sharky, Sharky. Alright, he's seen me, but he looks a little bit scared to move in closer. Come here, Shark. Yeah, Sharky, Sharky. Why aren't you guys eating? We're on TV! August 1 through 7, save a seat on your couch because it's Discovery Channel's Shark Week. You can catch all the action right here on AT&T Uverse, channel 120, or in HD on 1120. Also, all month long, you can catch all the action on video on demand.
Now in its 23rd season, Shark Week first aired in 1987. It's a week dedicated to some of nature's most feared predators. Here's a preview of some of the great programming you can expect. Don't go anywhere. AT&T Uverse Buzz will be right back with more shark diving. G'day, I'm Luke Tipple, and you're watching AT&T Uverse Buzz. Today we're celebrating Discovery Channel's Shark Week by going shark diving. I'll see you in there. We're a little bit further down the reef now, and the sharks around here look a little bit more hungry. Here they come. There's a lot we don't know about these animals, but what we do know is reef sharks are found in tropical waters, inhabiting the coral reefs near the ocean bottom. Reef sharks are apex predators, which means they reside at the top of a food chain and have virtually no predators of their own. They can, however, fall victim to bigger species of shark. This time, the sharks were hungry and we had them eating both off the pokey sticks and also right out of my hand. Mission accomplished. These guys obviously didn't eat dinner yet because they were feasting with us for a while. These reef sharks have a couple of different methods of feeding. During the day, they're pretty much scavengers. They're just cruising around looking for an easy meal. There's one feeding off the bottom off a nice little piece of fish that he really didn't have to work for. Sharks can be fairly lazy feeders, they're scavengers, and if there's an easy meal, they're gonna pick it up. The little fish that swim with sharks are called pilotfish. They're carnivorous and have a mutual relationship with the sharks. Pilotfish rid the shark of parasites and in exchange get protection from predators, as well as any leftovers after the shark feeds. Smaller pilotfish even swim into the shark's mouth to clean food fragments from their teeth. There are reports of pilotfish following ships that captured their shark for up to 6 weeks. About a half dozen sharks showed up at this location. While I was down there feeding them, I noticed one of them had a hook stuck in its mouth, probably from a local crew of fishermen. So I pulled out my knife and set about getting the animal comfortable enough because I was about to yank it right out of its mouth. This guy really didn't like me pulling on that hook, but it's something I had to do. With one swift yank, I broke the hook and set the shark free. Sharks are an incredible group of animals, but they're also vulnerable and they're becoming endangered. Poachers illegally catch, kill and fin millions of sharks a year, and some species have been depleted by up to 90% in the last 30 years. In 2009, the US House of Representatives passed the Shark Conservation Act to help protect these vulnerable sharks. Conservation efforts are finally underway to help save these remarkable animals.
Shark diving isn't all about beating our chests and jumping in the water with great big predators. It's about understanding an ecosystem a little bit better. The ocean, this is my home. Earth can stay where it is. And if I understand the sharks, I get to know my home a little bit better. I've spent my life under the water diving with some of the most beautiful and sometimes dangerous animals in the world. And now you too can enjoy the beauty of the underwater world.
Thanks for joining us on our shark adventure today. Make sure to catch Shark Week, August 1 through 7 on Discovery Channel, right here on AT&T Uverse, channel 120, or in HD on 1120. It'll also play all month long on video on demand. Until next time, I'm Luke Tipple. Safe diving.